I can't remember the last camping trip I went on where I didn't use any knots. Whether it's to set up my bear hang, a clothing line, or even more importantly, to set up my shelter, I use knots all the time. Today I'm gonna share with you 3 knots and 1 rope technique that I have found to be extremely useful for me depending on the camping situation. Now here's a scenario you might be familiar with. You're trying to pitch a tarp or a ridge line or even just a clothing line, and you just don't have rope that's long enough to make it all the way to the tree that you're trying to get to. So how do you tie 2 ropes together in a way that it's very secure but not so tight that you can't undo it? This is the first knot I'm gonna show you today. So for this sheet bend knot, all you're gonna do is you're gonna take your rope, you're gonna make a bite with it, you're gonna take the end of the other rope you're trying to join with, and you're gonna go up through the back like this, and then around to the right. Leave a bite open here, because what you do is you're gonna take it over now and just feed it through that bite like that, and then you're gonna pull, and this is what it looks like once it's done. You can make it nice and tight, and then you can use this as an extender, a way to extend your rope. When you want to undo it, you just gotta kind of work out the knot a little bit, it'll loosen up, and you'll be ready to coil 2 individual pieces of rope. The next knot technique I want to show you guys is how to square lash. And square lashing is very useful when you want to essentially attach a log to another log in a 90-degree fashion. I use it myself to build structures, or to, instead of using a ridge line, if I want to use a ridge pole, this is how I would attach the pole to against a tree. And the first thing you want to do is do a lark side knot to attach yourself to the ridge pole in this case. So what you do is you make a bite like this on your line, and I'm leaving a healthy amount of rope here, and you'll see why in a second. You put the bite over the ridge pole and you feed both ends all the way through. And then what I like about a lark's eye knot is that you can actually crank it down and then bring it up like that, and it will just lock into place really well. You're gonna leave this end of the rope out here. This is what you're gonna finish your knot with, and you're gonna use to tie. And then you're gonna use the other rope, and simply what you do is you go behind the tree and over the ridge pole like that, and then you're gonna come below the ridge pole, behind the tree again, and you're gonna repeat that motion for as much as you need it, to be honest. Below, over. And once you've done this motion a few times and you're pretty confident with it, the next move to really tighten it really well is you're actually gonna go across, around, and now you're gonna come around in the front of the tree but behind the ridge pole, and you're really gonna cinch this in place. Do a handful of loops like that. And once you're done here, that's when you're gonna come and meet up with your original rope and do a couple of overhand knots here. You can do a reef knot. You don't have to worry too much, because this is now really nice and strong and tight, and you can make some really good structures. I mean, people used to build houses like this. For the next knot I want to show you, it's just another quick and dirty way to attach any object to a static object. So in this case, I'm going to use it to attach the other end of the ridge pole to this tree, and it's called the Canadian gem knot. It's a very simple and very fast knot to make. So all you do is you take the end of your rope, you make a simple overhand knot there, like so. And then below that knot, we're gonna make a second one, but this one we're gonna leave open like this. Then you take your rope and the objects that you wanna tie together, and then you pass the rope around the objects you wanna secure together, you feed it through that overhand knot that we left open, and then you just cinch it into place like this. Then you can take the long rope here. It acts like a crank, really. You gotta work it. You put it nice into place, it'll hold firmly. When you want it undone, you take that little piece of rope out, and then you can just work it out a little bit. I find it does get, depending on your rope, it does get a little tight, but it does work really well to attach a fixed object with something else. There you go. Perfect. like that. Now the last thing I want to show you is how to properly coil your rope. You go out in the backcountry, you have to set up a shelter, it's pouring rain, then you open up your bag with all your rope and then everything in there is tangled, and it's just really annoying, especially when there's a very simple way for you to coil all your rope that's fast, that's just going to prevent you from being frustrated because everything is tangled. So to coil your rope, all you got to do is you got to take your hand like this, and you're going to put the end of the rope on your pinky, in between your pinky and your ring finger, or you can start in between your index and your thumb, it doesn't really matter. Then you're going to put the other part of the rope in between the opposite, like that. You can also start this way, it really doesn't matter, it's up to you. But all you do after this is you're going to draw some figure eights around your pinky and your thumb, like this, until you use most of the rope. So I'm going to stop here, and I've got about this much rope left. And all you do at this point is you take it out from your pinky. I like to keep mine in the thumb here, and I'll pinch it right here so I don't lose the bite at the top. And then you coil your rope around the body of what you just created. Once you have a few in like this, you can take your thumb out. You can then finish coiling it around as much as you want. You can push it down like this. I like to keep mine nice and tight so they really don't get tangled. And once you have about this much rope, or maybe this much rope left, you make a bite. You feed it through the loop, but not all the way through. You feed it through the loop, then you'll take that same bite. As you can see, it's not all the way through. You take that same bite, you put it over top of the whole thing, you pull, and now you've got something really nice and strong that'll never get tangled. When you want to use it, all you got to do is you take that bite, you pull it over top, pull on it, and off you go. If you want to find out more about knots, I'll leave a video right up here, so go ahead and check that out. And otherwise, I will see you, as always, in the next video. Peace.